Today guys, we're going over some vehicles everybody needs to own in GTA Online. Let's start things off with some boats, the Toreador and the Kosatka. The Kosatka's main purpose obviously is to start up the Cayo Perico heist, which is one of the best ways in the game to make money. It also allows you to unlock a few other vehicles that you could store inside of this submarine, along with many other abilities that you guys can put on it, and the starting price is only 2.2 mil and it can range up to $10 million if you fully upgrade it. And when it comes to actually driving through the water and underneath it, the Toreador is probably your best bet. It has a boost on it, it has missiles, it has torpedoes, it has machine guns, and it can hit speeds up to 60 miles per hour while underwater. Compared to the Stromberg, that's literally 2 times as fast. It's a great vehicle, it's a 4-seater, it's a little bit pricey, but if you're looking for a good vehicle that can go underwater and be pretty overpowered on the ground, the Toreador is definitely for you. Next, let's talk about helicopters. The Sea Sparrow is very useful, especially if you have the Kosatka and you're running the Cayo Perico heist. The only way you can actually have it is if you have the Kosatka, so I'd highly recommend buying that. It makes things a whole lot easier. The Cargobob is just a fun vehicle to mess around with. It's not super expensive and you control a lot of your friends. The Akula is a great helicopter when it comes to PvP or PvE, and it's also very, very agile. And then finally, we have the Swift, which is just a beautiful, luxurious helicopter. Pretty damn fast, easy to land unlike some of the other luxurious helicopters, but when it comes down to it, these are the 4 helicopters I recommend buying. The Cargobob is honestly just for fun, and what would make it even more fun is if they allowed us to put a giant magnet on the bottom of it, but for some reason we can't do that. It's pretty much a vehicle to just troll your friends with, so if you're not into that, then I wouldn't recommend getting it, but the other 3 are must-buys. Now let's talk about planes. The Raiju, the new military jet that came out, it's super fast, one of the fastest planes in the game. It's equipped with missiles and all kinds of other cool crap like VTOL mode. It's really, really useful when it comes to pretty much any combat situation. The Seabreeze is a fun little plane that you can use. I use it all the time to go pick up my friends who are stranded in the ocean, and you can actually dive down into the water with it. It's really fun, and it is also fitted with missiles and machine guns. The Pyro is another great PvP or PvE plane that you could use, fitted with machine guns and missiles. It's really, really agile, super fast, and can also outrun homing missiles if you need to. And if you want a luxurious jet, the Nimbus is definitely for you. It comes with the same amenities that the Luxor Deluxe has, except it is 5 times cheaper, and that's really all you need to know about it. Plus, if you bring it to your hangar, you can customize it and paint it gold if you want. Just before we jump into some of the next vehicles, why don't you guys take a look at this video's sponsor. If you need any assistance in any of your favorite games like GTA 5, Fortnite, Forza, Call of Duty, and many, many more, be sure to check out Damn Mods down below in the description, and at checkout use code FROLIX to get up to $100 off your order. Let's go over some motorcycles. The Batty 801. Great budget motorcycle that you could purchase. It's okay in races and is really, really fun to do stunts around the city with. The exact same thing goes for the Yakucho. When it comes to actually racing though, I would highly recommend purchasing the Shitaro. This thing absolutely slaps in pretty much any motorcycle race I do. Plus, it looks really cool if you combined it with one of the Deadline outfits. And then we have the Death Bike, another really overpowered motorcycle. It's super fast, one of the fastest street vehicles in the game, and it's also equipped with some pretty cool amenities at the Arena War Workshop. Then we have the Oppressor Mark II, which is literally just the best vehicle to do any kind of free mode work with. I'd highly recommend grabbing that. And if you really want to do some time trials, I'd recommend buying the Hakusho Drag. I forgot to toss it in here, but it is pretty much the best motorcycle to do time trials with, and that's what I've completed every single one with to this day. Then we got some military vehicles, like the little old RC tank, which most of us got for free, but if you didn't get it for free, it's still a really fun vehicle to drive around the city with. It's super, super strong as well. It's going to be pretty hard for people to kill you in it, and it can be fitted with a bunch of cool weapon options. And when it comes to tanks, the Khanjali is literally the best way to go. It can be fitted with grenade launchers on the sides, an MG turret on the top, and a railgun cannon, and if you have people inside the tank, all of those can be operated compared to the Rhino tank, where it's just a 1-seater. And then you have the little thruster. This thing is just kind of fun to fly around with. It's pretty agile, and if you know how to fly it properly, you can definitely cause some serious damage. Of course, it's fitted with homing missiles, and if you're sitting on the ground, you can launch straight up into the air super, super fast, which is obviously great for getting out of some sticky situations. In terms of a service vehicle, definitely the Brigade 6x6. This thing's an absolute tank on the road. It's super hard to destroy it. You can plow through cars like crazy. Plus, as an added bonus, it's a full mobile acid lab, which means you can just make money from having this vehicle. So why wouldn't you buy it, right? Plus, it's also pretty damn cheap, and you can actually get it for free if you do the Chop Shop missions. And by free, I mean you'll make the exact amount of money you need from those missions to get this thing, which is great. When it comes to trucks, you gotta have the Phantom Wedge. Once again, this is just a fun vehicle to drive around the city with. Thank God Rockstar fixed this vehicle, because before, you hit too many vehicles, it would end up blowing up. But now, you can do it as many times as you want, and literally just plow down a highway and blow every other car out of the way. Plus, it also works really well if you're traveling in a convoy and you're going to be up at the front clearing the road for everybody else behind you. In terms of vans, I'd recommend grabbing the Rumpo Custom. It's pretty damn cheap and it's fun to drive around just because it looks like the perfect heist van that you would use. I used to use it all the time. My friends and I would jump into it, drive around the city, cause a little bit of havoc. Of course, it doesn't have any armor, so if there are people flying around in jets and oppressors, you're probably screwed. But it's still fun to kind of roleplay a little bit with it, have fun, and like I said, it's pretty cheap. In terms of some compact vehicles, the Brioso RA is great to use for races, and that's pretty much it. If you ever do those types of races, you're going to want this car, and you're going to want to have it upgraded. It'll definitely give you an advantage. The exact same thing goes for the Issy Classic. If you've ever done Issy Classic races, you know for a fact you're not going to be able to win if there's people using custom versions of that vehicle. Just makes things easier. And the Ballistic Anjo is just a great little tuner car with a ton of awesome modifications you could toss on it. When it comes to compacts, that's probably one of my favorite cars. Even just a car to upgrade. It's pretty damn nice. When it comes to some of the sedans, honestly, the Daiti is the way to go. It has bullet-resistant windows, it has armor on the sides, I believe it can be fitted with Amani Tech as well, plus the whole look of the car is just beautiful. It also has some machine guns on it, which aren't the most overpowered in the entire world, but still, it's a beautiful vehicle, and like I said, if you drive by somebody that tries to kill you, as long as they're using a gun, you're pretty much going to be fine, as long as you can get in and out of there as fast as possible. When it comes to some of the SUVs, 3 right away, the Bowler STD, the Cavalcade XL, and the Landstalker XL just ooze luxury black. All of these vehicles out, and they are going to look stunning when you're driving down the streets of Los Santos. And when it comes to racing, the Taurus is a fairly cheap option, one of the fastest SUVs in the game as well, which is great. Same exact thing goes for the Novak. I believe this is currently the fastest SUV in the game. It's a bit more expensive, but if you want to do some SUV races, which not too many people do anymore, these two vehicles are great for you. Plus, they both also look pretty damn nice, along with the other SUVs, but it's up to you at the end of the day. Next, we got some off-road vehicles, like the Caracar 4x4. This thing just looks awesome. Got some pretty decent mods, and it looks really, really good with some F1 wheels on it. In terms of actually off-roading, the Draugr is outstanding. It's a bit pricey, but it'll get the job done perfectly. Camacho, exact same story, except this thing is really cheap, so if you're on a budget, grab that. The Terminus is also pretty damn great, plus it's a modern Jeep, which we've been wanting in GTA Online for a very, very long time. If you need some protection, the Night Shark is definitely the way to go here. It can survive a ton of missiles being shot at it, it's heavily armored, and it comes with machine guns, and it's also pretty decent at driving off-road, and has a pretty great acceleration. You want to have some fun though, the Ramp Buggy, just like the Phantom Wedge, is just a vehicle that is a ton of fun to drive around. You can clear an entire road for your friends behind you if you're traveling in a convoy or something. End of the day, it's really fun. Same thing goes with the Bruiser. It's pretty much the better version of the Phantom Wedge because you get a bunch of extra abilities with it, like jumping or nitrous. Can also be fitted with body spikes, so if somebody comes and touches your car, they're going to die instantly. It's a really great vehicle, and you can also have laser turrets on it and a giant ram in the front of it, which will plow through anything. They're all great off-roading vehicles. There's fun ones, there's ones for protection, there's ones for actually off-roading, and there's some that just look nice. When it comes to muscle cars, Buffalo EVX right off the bat, it's a great electric vehicle and doesn't have a set top speed, which is awesome and very beneficial in stunt races. The Buffalo STX, on the other hand, another great muscle car to race with, plus it can be fitted with Imani Tech, homing missile jammers and stuff like that, which is awesome. The Dominator GT just came out recently, and it looks like a beautiful modern Mustang, so Mustang lovers out there, definitely grab that. I kind of wish Rockstar would do that with the Gauntlet Hellfire, because it looks a bit strange, especially compared to some of the vehicles we get now. Then we get the Imperator, which is a really fun muscle car once again. It can be fitted with a bunch of Arena War upgrades, and you can make it look fairly clean. You don't have to put all those crazy upgrades on it, and it can still have some of the other stuff, like nitrous, a jump boost, a shunt boost, plasma turrets, and this grenade launcher thing on the back that literally just shoots something out and then poof, whoever's behind you just flies into the sky. It's pretty great. We also have the Vigero ZX, another amazing muscle car to race with and can be fitted with HSW upgrades. And then we have the Weevil Custom, which has a super high top speed, tons of awesome customizations. I've customized this car so many times, it looks beautiful. End of the day, all these muscle cars are pretty damn great. Just pick which one suits you best, and it'll definitely get the job done. In terms of some of the coupes, we got the Windsor Drop, beautiful, luxurious Rolls Royce. Drop the top down, cruise around the streets of Los Santos, and you'll look pretty damn sick. Then, of course, we have the new FR36, which is a really fun car to drive because it can be fitted with a drift mod, which you've been waiting for a very long time. Plus, it has some pretty decent customizations, and like I said, it has a drift mod, so you could definitely have a lot of fun driving around the streets of Los Santos or go do some actual drift races. When it comes to sports classics, the Deluxo is a great vehicle. It's fairly expensive, but it's really great when it comes to PvP or PvE. Plus, it can go into hover mode and hover over water or land. You can also do some pretty cool tricks with it, and it also has homing missiles. And if you want a nice sports classic car, the 190Z is relatively cheap and has tons of awesome upgrades. I just wish Rockstar would make the body kit line up with the wheels if you decide to toss it on. And if you want a sports classic car to race with, the Turismo Classic is definitely the way to go. It's super fast and can also be fitted with HSW upgrades, which is great. And when it comes to racing with sports classic vehicles, the Turismo Classic just doesn't get beaten. Like every sports classic race I've actually done, I've just demolished because I use this car and have it upgraded. When it comes to sports cars, we got a fair bit of them here. The Jugular is a great option. It's perfect when you do off-road races with sports vehicles. It will demolish everybody. The Italy GTO is also pretty damn great. It's my go-to sports car for racing, plus it looks really awesome. The ADAF Drafter is also another really beautiful vehicle. Not the best when it comes to performance in races. It does have decent handling, sounds awesome, and has some pretty cool upgrades. The 10F Widebody, on the other hand, is pretty much the best of both worlds. It's a beautiful Audi R8, has great handling, tons of awesome upgrades because it's a Benny's vehicle, and is great when it comes to racing. The Comet Retro Custom, once again relatively cheap, tons of awesome upgrades you could toss on it. The performance isn't the best thing in the world, so I wouldn't recommend using it in races, but it does look really nice in your garage. Same exact thing goes with the LEG Retro Custom. Tons of beautiful upgrades you could toss on this car. So many different variants you can make with it, and in terms of performance, it's not the greatest, but it looks nice. Then we got the Hot Ring Hellfire, which is just a great vehicle to use in some of the Hot Ring races that you could do in GTA 5. I've used it a couple times, and it's pretty damn awesome. Plus, it has some cool upgrades that I've never seen on any other cars in this game before. When it comes to supercars, you gotta have the Vigilante. It's got a bit of armor on it. It is equipped with homing missiles and machine gun turrets. It can also outrun homing missiles, which is pretty great. The rocket boost recharges super fast on it, which I love, and if you do a little Benny's merge glitch, you can make the back wheels super tiny and it looks funny. The Italy GTB Custom is a beautiful supercar with pretty damn good performance, plus it has tons of awesome upgrades since it is a Benny's vehicle. Then we have the Progen Emrys, which I use all the time in races just because it's literally just great at what it's meant to do. The exact same thing goes for the Krieger. It's a bit more expensive, but once again, great at what they're actually meant to do. So if you want to race the Krieger or the Emrys, I would definitely recommend buying those vehicles. The Turismo Maggio just came out recently. It's a beautiful F8 Ferrari. It has some decent customizations. The performance is pretty damn great on it as well. I would say it's probably in the top 10 best supercars to race with in GTA Online. Anyways, those are some vehicles I think everybody should own in GTA Online. If you don't own any of them, I'd highly recommend hopping on top of that and grabbing a couple of them. And if you do own every single vehicle I just mentioned in this video, then congratulations, you have some pretty damn great vehicles. Anyways, that is going to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you went on to enjoy it. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.